What is up, guys, and welcome back to another Cold Front video. And what are we doing today? That's right, we're playing some more Third Age Total War with running the Reforged submod. And what are we doing on that mod? We are fighting for GUNDABAD. It will be a 3-team free-for-all, 6-army battle. Yes, super excited to get to it. This is a custom map that comes with the Reforged mod. And this is supposedly supposed to be Gundabad, just as rock formation here. And I'm not complaining because it's super cool. And basically, we're all fighting for the strategic fortress of Gundabad. And who is all fighting? Well, we have 2 armies of Gundabad here. 2 just in generic Gundabad armies. And then here's the other. We do have a bunch of Witchers commanding the army. We have some Black Uruks, some Snaga archers, Goblin trackers, Gundabad guards, crazy not filibuster, good guy, but just crazy amounts of Gundabad things and foul, disgusting creatures. And then we have Gondor with its, well, it kind of protects it, but I mean, really, Rohan really protects Gondor most of the time. But we have Rohan and Gondor aligning to help fight for Gundabad. And pretty much Rohan's army just consists of straight horse, and they have the general unit, not the general unit, I don't think, no, it's not. But they have a 2 royal guard units, so 2 spearmen units, but mostly just straight horses. Meanwhile, their Gondorian army will have some Haven, no, not shit, there they are. Haven Guard, excuse me. Haven Guard as their general, leading quite a few Fountain Guard, gods of Osgiliath, archers, and some Gondorian spearmen and swordsmen. Get a good looking on those guys. Beautiful, beautiful. Alright, now for the third army it would be, third team. Fifth army are the dwarfs. The dwarfs also want the Mount Gundabad, or the Fortress of Gundabad. So, yes, beautiful. This is the Khazad Doom army. Out of the 2 armies that the dwarfs have, this is the Khazad Doom army, which have a bunch of Khazad warriors, hammers of Gundabad, of course, it's Khazad Sentry, Khazad Reclaimers, Khazad warriors, and guards of Khazad Doom. So, really the Khazad army right here. And then helping them with their conquest for the great Mount Gundabad with its fortress is the great King Dane and his army of Ironfoot warriors with their Ironfoot war goats, Ironfoot guard, Sons of the Fallen, Iron pikemen, Iron crossbowmen, and plenty, plenty more. Now, finally, for my team, the coolest team, and the, what would that be? 2, 4, 6, 7th army is, that wouldn't make, yeah, 2, 4, 6, 7, 7th army. Excuse me, I can't count right now. Is the High Elves. Mostly from Enladris, but we have some Smiths of Eregion, Eldarinwe swords, Eldarinwe archers, and plenty more. We also have some Sindar Blade Masters as the general unit, and their general does not appear to be right there. There's the general. Alright. And then finally, your boy's Cold Front army. You guys can already guess who he is, and that's right, I'm Arnor. Oh yeah, Cold Front's Arnor again. I'm sorry guys, I just fucking love this army. I am obsessed with Arnor. But yes, we have a beautiful Arnor army, which consists of the typical men-at-arms, dismounted Dunedain, Arthedain men-at-arms, battle-ready Dunedain, of course, for the general unit with my general right here. And then some basic Dunedain Rangers assigned, and some bodyguards. Yes, beautiful. So without further ado, let's get the battle for Gundabad on the way. And immediately my first step will be towards my allies, the elves. I'm quickly going to try and rush over to the elves as fast as I can. I mean, they run pretty fast away from me. Elves run faster than the men, blah, blah, blah. Ahead into the enemy without any help, and which is pretty much what's going to be happening here. Instead of the AI, weirdly, instead of trying to defend Gundabad, rush out of its gates and try and meet them in open field combat. That's okay with me. I don't care. It's easier for me. But pretty much, the elves head straight for the dwarves, and the dwarves get absolutely clustered effed. Because they're in the middle here, so they get hit on the left. Their left army, well, the Ironfoot army will get hit from elves, which I'm almost 100% sure they're running away from right now, because I would be too. The Khazad army takes the Gondor army head on, while the other army gets taken on by the elves, which is an automatic L. If you take on the elves by yourself, you take the L. There's no way around it. And they're already getting plenty of archer fire. And the Rohirrim army seems to be chilling out. They're gonna wait in reserve, because the dwarves do have quite a bit of sentries and pikes. And especially the Gundabad army. The Gundabad army consists of pretty much half of pikes. Pikes or spears. So, and I would not take on the guards of Osgiliath with Cam. That would not be a smart idea. But thus, it looks like the dwarves will let the men come to them instead of them going to the men, which makes sense to me. I would do that too. But they realize that the Khazad army cannot hold their own, so the Ironfoots are running their asses off to try and get to them. As you can see, the Imladris Cav are hitting the Ironfoot guards in the back, and also trying to take out some of these war goats from rushing over to the other side of the battlefield. And this unit of Eldarwinwe swordsmen have successfully cut off these two portions of men, and they're now going to trap those. And they're running the rest down. As you can see here, my bodyguards are rushing to this side of the field because I'm rushing my army over here as fast as I can, but I mean, I can only move so fast. And the combined armies of Gundabad are, let me just show you that real quick, are rushing out of the gates down into the open field of battle, and the army on the right side of the Gundabad fortress is also rushing down this middle entrance onto the field of battle, which they will later fight. Now we have some open line battle with the Khazad army and the Wardens of the White Tower. Ooh, they're rushing in a high unit early. They're going to go ahead and push in their general unit of Khazad Doom Guard and their Khazad sentries. They're pushing in their second line of units, so they're already pushing in their reserves, and they look to be doing quite well in the right flanks, but the middle seems to be a total cluster F, and they are not doing too well there, to the point they have pushed in their general unit, and they are desperately waiting on reinforcements from the Ironfoot armies. And it appears these Osgiliath and Gondorian spearmen are rushing to try and, I guess, they obviously couldn't stop him, but I guess they're trying to hold back some of the Ironfoot army from getting to the Khazad army. I don't know. That doesn't seem too smart to me. Some Khazad warriors charging up from the front. Ooh, beautiful charge here. Look at this. Trying to run down these Khazad reclaimers from moving into their archers. They're desperately trying to stop that, but they have already reached them. The Khazad warriors have reached the archers, which is a great move from the Khazad army, because taking out those archers is key. They really need to take out those archers. And the Gondorian army is desperately trying to rush back and fix their mistake and trying to save them, but I mean, that's pointless. Once they're taken, you gotta just let them go and focus on somewhere else. If you divide your army up like that, it just won't be smart. But yes, for Wardens of the White Tower Wardens? Wardens of the White Tower. Okay, I've got it backwards. We're successfully fighting. Alright, Hammer's a Gundabad, which I thought was a cool unit, so I went ahead and added them because I'm like, well, we're fighting, you know, so. But yeah, they're just destroying because they're a really heavy unit. And looks like this Osgiliath Spearman unit has taken on some Khazad Spearmen. And it looks like the Gondorian infantry met some Imladris cavalry and also some Iron Foot. And here comes my bodyguards. Ooh, pulling back just in time. I guess I didn't want them going for it. I guess I had another target for them. But yes, I'll use these bodyguards like crazy throughout the battle. I'll make sure to try and follow them. Cause I get some, I mean, I have never used a cav unit so much in Third Age before this match here, before this battle.
They have lost half their men.
They have lost half their men. Beautiful. I'm taking out the rest of these Khazad pikemen that were clogging up my friendly units. Beautiful. And it looks like that Gondorian swordsmen, where are they at? Are they still fighting? They are. So it looks like the Imladris Cav pulled out, but they have some Sons of the Fallen and some Ironfoot Guard taking on this one unit. I mean, I don't know how you're supposed to win against that, so. The beautiful horn sounds, and the Iron Guard army is starting to split in half to take on the encroaching. Ooh, my bodyguards. It looks like I've taken on the War Goats. They're taking those guys out. Taking on the encroaching Elven army because they realize they just can't run from it. And so I relieve the Imladris Cav, the light Imladris Cav, from the War Goats, and now it looks like they're going to go ahead and charge in some Ironfoot Guard. They're trying to relieve their War Goats, but that will not work too well for them. Imladris Cav have come around and are now taking on some Khazad warriors, and some more Khazad warriors are on the way to take out the Imladris Cav. So double team them and win. That sounds like a good idea to me. And it looks like this Khazad army is still fighting some. Oh, they have rushed in the general unit of Haven Guards, and they're getting desperately riddled by some Iron Foot not pikemen, excuse me, crossbowmen back there. But you can see these the Khazad sentry are moving in strong. Khazad reclaimers holding strong, and so are these Khazad sentries. Defeat seems certain, of course it does. And it looks like that will be mostly the end of the Gondorian army. The Gundabad, Hammers of Gundabad are moving to take out the rest of these archers. They're saying, F it, we're going to keep archer fire to the end. Very brave. But the Khazad army has become successful and have taken out the Gondorian army. And now are reforming and regrouping in order to take on the encroaching Elven army. Oh, bugger. Alright. Make a note to edit. My bodyguards are now moving in on these Sons of the Fallen. I'm trying to relieve these Eldarwinway spearmen of them. But I mean, this is practically going to be the it. I mean, not the end, but I mean, there's not going to be much left of my cav after this. The Imladris Cav have foolishly charged. Oh no, I thought these are pikemen, but they are Ironfoot Guard, which is a good charge on their part. Very smart. But my bodyguard is decimated. They're done. Done so much.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
Some beautiful fighting here between some Sons of the Fallen and some Eldarwinway spearmen. And now my army has finally arrived. I'm starting to form my lines and pick my battles. But some royal guards have charged into the back of my army. The buggers have gone around me, and I had nothing to defend myself. So I had to rush my archers out of there and let the back of my lines take them on. Because this is a general unit, I did not want him to take on pretty much my cannon fodder units, my weak units. And I wanted them to take on my heavier units, because they're only the real ones that would take the least amount of casualties taking them down. So I have some elite units taking these guys on, which would be the smarter of the ideas. And that, I mean, my bodyguards are practically decimated and gone, so there's nothing really I could do to defend against that, except what I did. They already got around, there's no point, there's no other way of defending, I just let it happen. And some Khazad sentry finished off the rest of my bodyguard, and they're just absolutely cutting them down. And the last one,
changes in the course of battle, for the defeat seems almost certain.
and oh no,
Has thrown his life away. Perhaps our chances of victory with it.
my general has died. Poor bugger. Over on the Rohirrim side of the field, we have them engaging the enemy head-on, creating a cluster F right here, one of the gates of the Gundabad fortress. They have a bunch of dismounted royal guards and whatnot moving around. Ooh, a great shot from the Wishers back there. The Wishers are firing down onto the Rohirrim. Oh, doing some terrible effect. They are fighting uphill. They're moving another unit around to take on the other Gundabad army, which will be coming out that side. Some more fire coming down onto the Gundabad, Rohirrim warriors. They're doing some circle shooting here. Very, oh my god, just ridiculous amount of damage being done by those Witchers. And the Rohirrim army being decimated on the side of the hill right here by the Gundabad army. They're cutting through them like a hot knife through flesh. Horrible. Still shooting their arrows in the circle formation here. I mean, not really much they can do. They're shooting uphill. You got a bunch of these goblin trackers shooting downhill on these guys. And you can see how easily they just got through this. I mean, really, they've had to rush back all those units they were sending off. They've rushed back in their dismounted royal guard and are taking on these Black Rooks of the Mountain and Gundabad guard. Meanwhile, their royal lords are charging into some Black Uruks of the Mountain, and it will no longer be able to. Ooh, it looks like they did get up one unit of just some Aored heavy lancers, and are now going to sadly charge some Witchrealm pikemen, which will most likely be the end of them. That's not good. The Witchrealm, I mean, this army probably saw what's happening over there and put their pikemans in front, and as you can see, they're rushing back down the hill. That was horrible. They're just gonna go ahead and rush down. Royal Lords charging into the backs of these Black Uruks of the Mountain here. Beautiful charge. A lot happening here. Mostly them just charging their army through. They are more focused on getting their army down the field. They're rushing back some of the Royal Guard over here. And, I mean, really, it's just these... I mean, the Rohirrim army just got completely decimated. I mean, that speaks wonders. The Gondorian army on the left side of their flank got completely decimated, and their army got completely decimated on the right. I mean, that tells you all you need to know, is that within the first two armies die, and I mean, the Rohirrim army didn't die as bad as the Gondorian army died. I mean, the Khazad army completely wrecked the Gondorian army. There's no way around it. They wrecked them so hard. But, yeah. Beautiful unit here, Witchrealm Guard moving in. Come back over to this side of the battlefield. Big line battle happening here between the High Elves and the Iron Guard. I'm charging some of my bodyguards into the side of these Iron Guards. Some more of my bodyguards charging into these Sons of the Fallen. I'm not expecting too much of them. They're going to die. That's the end of my bodyguards. But yes, this unit of Ironfoot pikemen completely cut off and are surrounded by Eldarinwe spearmen and now the general unit of the High Elves. This Ironfoot army here is where they will be completely decimated. This will be the end of the majority of the Ironfoot army. I mean, there's not much they can do. The Mlajer's Cav could get up there to slow them down. Meanwhile, they ran their units, their army all the way up there. There was nothing they could do. I mean, most of the army... Ooh, big charge into the back of the general unit here. Of the Eldarnway Spearmen here. And they're charging in some of their hammers of Gundabad in to relieve their general unit. So, not much, I mean, really to report on here. Just a bunch of Ironfoots dying to some High Elves. Yes, these Royal Guards are ridiculously strong.
The enemy general lies dead.
And finally, the Haven Guards have weakened, and the Khazad sentries have taken out the last of the Gondorian army with their generals. And as you can see, some of the Gundabad army has finally charged up and are taking on these Imladris Cav. So a major portion of the second Wittrum pikemen and excuse me, I sometimes I just lose thought and lose track of what I'm thinking of. The second army of Gundabad. And here as you can see, the Witcher is badly bloodied but still fighting strong. Rushing in, and they're moving, I don't know where they're moving to, probably to take on these crossbowmen. And as you can see, some Rohirrim riders still left, still fighting, still charging into a bunch of the weak units, and oh, there goes quite a bit of them. But these dwarves hold strong. The dwarves hold strong, and they're reforming their army. They have, that man needs to stop talking. They have completely decimated the Gondorian army, are now moving on to take the encroaching threat of the Gundabad army. And here comes some Gundabad hammer to take on some Black Uruks of the Mountain. Beautiful charge of the black, I mean, not the black, excuse me, the hammers of the Gundabad. Ooh, like that spin move. Just some like crazy ass spin move. Ooh, there one goes. They should win that fight. Some Ironfoot pikemen taking on some Gundabad guard and seem to be doing quite good at it. And some more Ironfoot pikemen moving around to take on the Black Uruks of the Mountains, who are moving on my position. And some more dismounted Royal Guard has reached my position. So a lot of the excuse me, a lot of the Rohirrim army has come to take on my army, which I seem to be doing alright. My men, I should probably move some more men to take on this Royal Guard, but I'm not moving any right now. And the Royal Guard Cav has been completely taken out. I've routed them. And the Dwarfs have completely committed all their army to taking on the Gundabad armies. But this is just one of the two armies. Another one approaches from the west, or from the, I guess, the center gate of the fortress, and some Gundabad royal lords, excuse me. So I guess they started the rout. I remember when I was playing this game, I made them rout, and I guess they regained their morale and moved it to take on some Witch Realm Scourge, but I definitely did make them rout after they killed my general, sadly, so I'm not sure if that's a win or a lose. Beautiful cinematic shot of some Witch Realm Scourge moving in on my position. And I'm really just trying to hold this hill right here. That's my goal. Hold the hill. And some Witch Realm Inquisitors, which is the general unit for the second army. The Witchers are the... Ooh.
Only half the enemy force remains.
That was where the Witchers went. They got taken out by some... Ooh, my Battle Red Duty Knight charged in. They are taken out by some Khazad sentries, and now the Witch Realm Inquisitors, which is a general unit of the 2nd Gundabad army, has charged into my lines, and I've marched in some of my Arthedain men-at-arms.
Enemy general lies dead. To ride to war on a pony.
Beautiful. The Elven general unit has taken on the Dwarven general unit. Beautiful, and they have taken them out. So I'm marching a bunch of my Arthedain knights in the battle. I'm decided I'm tired of line fighting. I'm tired of defending. I'm moving my men in, and that is what I will do. So I already rushed some of my Arnorian men at arms in, and now I'm rushing my my Arthedain knights in, and they will hold the line for them. But sadly, some Sons of the Fallen will be coming up to help. So quite a bit of dwarfs remain. The Dwarven army held really strong, actually way stronger than I thought it would. And I believe only one of the generals are down out of the two, so that's big. And also, oh, here it is. There's the Dragon Slayers of Arid Mithrin, now exhausted from fighting not only the Sindar Blade Masters, but some Eldarinwe Spearmen. And the general unit was taken out there. The Sons of the Fallen are retreating to help their general unit. I am taking on some Khazad guards with my men-at-arms, which is not the smartest thing to do. They are quite the heavy unit, and that is the general unit for the, the Khazad army, so I'm actually doing some big damage on them, and there the general is right there, the Khazad general right there, hiding behind a bush. He's like, maybe if I don't move, maybe if I hide behind this bush, they will not see me. Sadly, that will not be the case for you, sir. And here come some black rooks of the mountains, charging in behind them. Here, right here, I've taken out the Gundabad general, and now some black rooks of the mountain are rushing behind and are now taking on the Khazad general unit. And there he is, taking on all hits from all sides, and we will, I guess, collectively take out the Khazad general. We'll wait to see how that goes. But yes, they have marched in that, the army that came through the valley right there. They're Witch Realm Scourge, and now I'm pushing in another couple units of my Arnorian men-at-arms. Getting those guys into position. And a great, oh my gosh, a great last stand for these Ironfoot pikemen here. They are completely surrounded by Witch Realm Scourge, Gundabad, and 2 units of Gundabad guards. And I mean completely surrounded. Good God. But, I mean, the Khazad warriors are charging in, but I'm not sure how much they'll be able to do. They're not that strong of a unit. And so really, I cannot believe this Dwarven army, how well they held up. They held up against the Gondorian units, and they are now taking on 2 armies of Gundabad warriors, and including me and the elves. I mean, they are just really their goat, to be honest. They ride goats and they are goats. I mean, I just can't believe, like I said, I can't but not believe that they held out this well. And actually held the elves back quite a bit. As you can just see the absolute carnage here. Now they're chasing down some broken and exhausted Khazad sentries, and that'll be most of the elven army there. And they're really just running down this enemy general unit here. Some Gundabad guard marching around, I think, take out my rangers? No, right here, they take out some Gundabad hammers, which I guess would have been going for my rangers. Thank God they jumped in. But collectively, my rangers will F these guys up. I mean, look how many they just lost in one hit. It looks like now some of my men-at-arms are breaking. And I'm charging up some more of my dismounted knights and my Arthanine men-at-arms. And some more Witch Realm Scourge Raiders and some Gundabad guards are charging the hill. And my men are trying to reform their lines, and some reinforcements are coming in. And really just trying to move my men around and try and reconform some sort of the line. But these Gundabad guards that were taking on this hill are starting to move around and take out some of my dismounted Dunedain knights over here, which are subsequently also being attacked by some Sons of the Fallen, which is not good at all. I mean, the dismounted Dunedain knights are a really good unit, but so are Sons of the Fallen. They're a ridiculously good unit. And also taking on these Khazad Doom guards here, which is the general unit, and I guess the general's still alive. I don't remember them saying he died. I guess he lives somewhere. No, I'm pretty sure he died. I didn't kill him, at least. But yes, let's see if we can see him actually down here. Is he dead? I mean, he has to die. I can't see him in there. But I can't seem to find his body. It would be right here where he would have died, but yes. Some Eldarinwe archers moving into position. My men are starting to be shucking up by this guards of Khazad here. I mean, expected. Those guys are just ridiculously good. Another thing that really hurt me is that the AI of the
Only half
Eldar
the enemy
Windway
force
archers
remains.
always love to throw their fire arrows down on the cluster of my men and the enemies. Like, you know, unless
Our men
it's...
have slain the enemy general.
Ooh,
Without him, his troops will lose their will to fight.
there goes the enemy general.
Behold how our cowardly foe runs. It's
Well,
time
the
to press the
Rohirrim
attack.
general. That is the end of the Gondorian general and the Rohirrim general. I think now both Dwarven generals are dead. I know my general is dead, and I think the... Actually, I believe... Oh, what's this? I believe the, excuse me, I cannot think of the name. The Noldorian or the High Elven general still lives. I don't remember him dying. If I did, then I guess I'm a big idiot for saying it, you know, on the video. Like, no, he's not. Yep, here he is. He's still alive. He's not dead. Looks like they're going to take on some Khazad warriors. Some Gundabad guards charging over too. I mean, really, it's just everybody fighting everybody in this battle. Ooh, taking some big hits from these goblin trackers here. Not good. But I'm taking on these Witchrom Scourge. I've charged in quite a bit of my force just to take those guys out. I'm tired of that shit. And yeah, a bunch of my men here on the right flank were taken out by these Khazad guards of Khazad Doom and by these Sons of the Fallen. But thankfully, the Sindarin Blade Masters are charging in, and a bunch of them dying due to their own fire. Once again, their archers are just like cold-hearted people and do not care about firing onto their allies. And some reinforcements charging there in the back, while some more moving around the flank to finish off the rest of these High Elves and these Dwarfs over here. Nice charge right here. Beautiful. Right to the backs of these Khazad warriors. I mean, again, really just so ridiculously impressed with how the Dwarfs held up. I mean, look how they're fighting elves and they're fighting they fought Rohirrim, Gondor, High Elves, and 2 Gundabad armies, and they're still alive. That is ridiculous. It not only fought the Gondorian army, but by itself completely decimated it. Not only did they decimate it, Khazad warriors are the ones who are still left. Like, the Ironfoot guards are pretty much gone. I mean, from the elves, obviously, that makes sense. But the Khazad warriors hold strong. They completely, by themselves, decimated an entire army and are now, you know, effing up everybody. Still, I just can't, I'm sorry, I just can't believe it. I'm sorry if my shock amuses you or, you know, annoys you, but I just can't believe it. It's ridiculous. And the Sindarin general here fighting with his men, trying to rush the help take out some of these strong units that are taking on my lines. I mean, really, just Sons of the Fallen, Guards of Gundabad are really hard to fight off. And just so I finish off that unit of Witchrom Scourge, another one charges in. So no rest for the wicked. Money don't grow on trees. I got bills to pay. I got mouths to feed. Comment down below the name of that song if you know it. And what video game it's popular for being in. If you guys can guess that, I will automatically like your comment. And here, yep, their general's still alive. There he is. Guards of Khazad Doom charging into the backs of these Witchrom Scourge that are attacking my front line. The general lives. Impressive. Oh my gosh. That is crazy. Considering how much fighting he's been in, that's crazy.
We've lost half of our men.
Yes, we have. So really, the archers, most of these archers are out of fire. Out of ammo. And more charging into the back of these guys. I know those are routed. They're not charging. They're just happening to run through. Still, more Khazad sentries. I cannot believe these kids, man. They're crazy. Beautiful. So we can really see here, if we look at the battlefield from this side, the elves are tending to hold the middle. What left of the elves are kind of holding the middle. The rest of the Dwarven army is kind of on the left here. Some of the general units over here on the right. But generally, they kind of cover the whole battlefield. Once again, I'm saying these dwarves are crazy, taking on everybody at once.
Swinging in our favor. From such tidings does victory emerge.
Alright, um, just absolutely crazy, but still a good amount of Gundabad warriors hold. They're still here, they're still strong. But once again, the dwarves army is really starting to thin out now. They're kind of spread across the entire battlefield. I'm rushing in my troops because I'm trying to just mop up and help my elves. Here, see that the Eld Eldarwin Eldarin Winway Eldarin Way. Sorry, there it goes. Eldarin Way. I cannot think of the. Sorry, I'm terrible at talking now. Apparently, I was going to say pronunciations, but I'm terrible at talking. Back to it. Anyways, the Gunbad army forming the line on this side, my army, and the Elven army taking on kind of the right, and mostly the Dwarven armies on the left and all over. So,
Enemy general
oh,
lies
finally!
dead. That'll teach him to ride to war on a pony.
Teach him to ride the war on a pony. Pretty sure it was a goat, asshole. That was the race test. Alright, and taking on some fire from some goblin trackers over there. But I successfully relieved this Eldarinway unit. Warriors, still some sentries remain. Khazad sentries. I'm not sure if these Ironfoot crossbowmen seem to still not be out of ammo. Alright, the Eldarinway spearmen and the Sindarin blade masters are taking on the rest of these Khazad warriors once again. Oh my god. These Khazad warriors, man, they're just crazy. Khazad Doom don't play around. So, in my negligence, they have charged around some Witchron pikemen to take on behind my ass, and will up it to take on my battle-ready Dunedains, which I do not want to fight yet. I don't want them fighting yet. So I rush my Arthedain men at war back real quick and take them on. It's hard to keep track of so much at once, and they have marched in behind me when I was not paying attention. I'm going ahead, I'm going to march my battle-ready Dunedain on back towards the front lines. And I'm now starting to reform my lines a little bit, finally, after all that crazy fighting. And the armies are now starting to reform and plan some new attacks. These Eldar Windway archers that I freed earlier are now taking on some of these Gundabad guards. Relentless bastards. It looks like these Khazad sentries are marching up in behind them. More Gundabad guard charging in towards my lines. I'll charge in my dismounted Dunedain to meet them. Some of my men broken. A bunch of my men broken, actually. You can see a bunch of them leaving in the background. First couple, a little bit of men who are finally, officially retreating. Just some mopping up to do now. I hold still quite a bit of troops on the field. I'm not too worried when it comes to troops. I have some men-at-arms over here. I guess we're taking on some retreating, or what was it called? Broken and retreating men.
It's time to press the attack.
The High Elven General lives still and is mopping up the rest of these Ironfoot Guard. Some of them did finally make it over to the what would I call it? The battlefield where the Khazad army and the Gondorian army fought. Some Eldarwinway spearmen coming back towards my lines. Probably going to help back here. It's probably where they're rushing to. And my dishonored Dunedain warriors taking on the rest of these Gundabad guard who charged me. Eldarwinway spearmen can't decide where they go. They're just in the middle of the battlefield. The general of the Nordorians taking on the rest of these Ironfoot guards still. Like I said, just a bunch of small things going on. I'm about to say, I thought this was reinforcements for a second. I was like, oh god, these guys are about to get surrounded, but these guys are broken and exhausted and retreating, so that's good. Some good cinematic fighting going on right here. Ooh! beautiful. And down. This execution right here is just really sexy. He swept his feet out from under him and just hacked the shit out of him. They don't call them Blade Masters for no reason. Alright, and quite a few of my men actually survived. Just I'm surprised. I did such crazy amounts of what would I call it? Crazy amounts of just mob fighting. And taking out the rest of these Sons of the Fallen here. There falls the last one.
Pursue and run them down.
Pursue and run them down. And that seems to be about it for most of the armies. Quite a bit of my men did survive. It wasn't as close to the call as I would have hoped it would be. Just some final things being mopped up here. The general unit charging over to help. They're still fighting. All Darwin way. Spearmen over here. Beautiful. Some Witchrum Scourge Raiders still in the back here. Goblin Trackers still over there. Ooh, and they started to do a charge in the back, so the Blade Master decided to skip those guys and head on to take on the Scourge Raiders in the back here by themselves. And the Gundabad Guard tried to stop them and charge them in the back, but they'll go back toward the Spearmen. Beautiful charge. Well, it looks like the General was cut off from the rest of his unit and was back here. Where did he go? Doesn't show him up here. Where is he? I cannot find the Blade Master's General. He's definitely not here. He has to be back here somewhere. Definitely had to be cut off. Didn't say that he died, but I already see a few of them dead. There's some beautiful fighting there. Some of those Gundabad Guard creeping over there. Do take them out. And I'm just sitting on my pretty little hill. Sitting on my pretty little hill. Alright guys, and thus is the end of the battle for Gundabad. Thank you all so much for watching this crazy all cluster F battle. In the end, me and the High Elves didn't end up winning. Big shocker, I know. Was not my intention, but it happens that way sometimes. I mean, in a fight like this, they just all want to fight each other. There's nothing I can do about it, so they end up, as you saw in the beginning, the entire Gundabad army, which I was expecting to face one-on-one, completely ditched me and went around, so I had to go around, and I was pretty much ended up spending half the time chasing down the High Elven army while everybody else fought, so that's a big reason why a bunch of my units were spared. But yeah, if you all enjoy, go ahead and leave a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe, and all. Go make sure to go check out my Discord channel where you can go check out the community, the Cold Front community, a bunch of Lord of the Rings nerds all just talking. Just come hang out, and I'm on there a lot, and you can personally talk to me, text me, I guess. Leave some feedback. That's always good for me. And have a good day. I'm sorry, I can't think of anything else to say. Just get out of here, kids. Go watch another video.